When you plant Whiffles hybrids, you're making a statement that independence and family-owned means something on your farm. So make your choice. Plant your independence. Plant Whiffles.
I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans. And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field. Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
Chris Williams, Brent Blum. From the Northwest Bank Studios, it's Williams and Blum, presented by Mechdyne on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
All right, what is up? Welcome to Williams and Blum Wednesday. It's the 23rd of July, and fall camp is starting. Wild. We've got the Ames installment of Cyclone Football Media Days on Friday. Did you know that, Blum?
Yeah, I did.
Are you going to be like walking players around, making us pay them to talk to them? Like how? Oh, you want Rocco? $20.
$20.
$25.
For you, Keith Murphy, it's $75. No, I will not be there. Niang's golf outing is the same day, so.
You're going to be playing golf.
I'm not playing golf. I'm going to be circulating.
Oh, because you're schmoozing.
I'm schmoozing. Yeah, I'll be schmoozing. Now, I might pick up a golf club just in case, but I'm not planning to play.
Gotcha.
I know. Rare for me.
We are in the Northwest Bank Studios. Don't forget, if you're going to Ireland, you need some of them euros. Good place. You just do the currency exchange with our friends at Northwest Bank. We are presented, as always, by Mechdyne. I'll be up at Mechdyne on Friday for a little company social.
Mechdyne. I got my hat, so I'll fit it right in Friday.
It looks good.
Good hat right there.
We're going dirt racing. Me and Clover are on Friday night. It's going to be great.
I think I'll pass on that, but I will go. I will go to the social.
God, you suck, man.
I can't hear from last time.
That was like 3 years ago.
I know. I have hearing loss. I swear.
Well, you're out at the old IndyCar. You're an elitist now. You were
and I was in a suite for that because I don't like loud noises.
Yeah, no, I don't. If you're gonna go to IndyCar in the middle of July, you get a suite.
Yeah,
find a way to be in the air conditioner. There's no doubt. All right, little street cred here.
How was Vegas?
It was great. I did not step foot in Big Ten Media Day. The day the event started and I flew out.
Good for you.
Now, so what happens is like Circa is a big sponsor of Iowa Everywhere. Obviously, I'm into the sports betting space. So there's all this media that's in Vegas because of it, and Circa asked me to come down there and do a few shows, which was cool, and I enjoy it.
You were in VEASAN. You were on the...
I was. Yeah, and I've gotten to know a lot of those guys in my time going down there, and like it is... I mean, I sat and... Matt Yeoman's like one of the world-class sports handicappers, and you sit and have a beer with him for 20 minutes, and it's like the insight you can pick up on. It's great for our audience. Like when I get to do stuff like that, because you learn more and I can pass it on. And so a good experience. I didn't go to Big Ten Media Days. I did see that Tony Petitti was clamoring for 6-3 Big Ten teams to make the playoff. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to get into a lot of that.
No.
I did.
We're in the hamster wheel again. The hamster wheels are spinning.
We need games.
We really do.
But before we get, so Jake Brend is producing for us today, and he's going to help us. Hello, Jake.
What's up?
Morning. Nice job, Jake. We thought you might get Wally pipped there, C-Dub. You know the Wally Pipp story?
I'm aware, and it would be very deserving.
We got Lou Gehrig in the middle here. Yeah.
So you've got, real quick, Kurt Jones is coming on with you today.
The newest member of
What?
the Denver Nuggets basketball organization.
Yeah. You didn't know this, Bloom?
No.
Booked him.
Kurt, my guy.
Yeah,
Nice.
it'll be up on the feeds this afternoon.
Have you talked to him yet?
Yeah, I've been texting with him a little bit. So
I know, but have you? So he hasn't been on yet, though. Like,
no,
you haven't
no,
recorded.
that's it'll be early this afternoon.
The
We'll
summer
get it-
series
we'll get it
continues.
up right away.
So you went from John Walters to Kurt Jones. That's like Mount Rushmore. You just
I
need
know.
2 more.
Need to just grab Niang and
Niang.
Purdy,
Yeah.
and then I think we've got the whole.
I think
Mount
that
Rushmore
Niang
right
guy's
there.
in town, so
The
you got a
guy is in
shot.
town. There may be another NBA player in town this weekend.
I've heard things, but I didn't know if like a certain leg injury would keep that from happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. It's not confirmed, but those
He was
are
on
rumors.
There was a certain Iowa State player on Pat McAfee yesterday that made a bunch of news.
A certain general manager from my alma mater of Simpson College would not appreciate if this player hit the golf course on Friday, I would guess.
Yeah, good point. So
Amen to that.
Yeah, so Tyrese was in the news a little bit, but he looks like he's doing well. He might be in Ames this weekend with George. We'll see.
Cool. Well, that's always one of my favorite events.
Yeah.
This the Niang thing, and he's special. We don't need to go over that.
Yep.
Everybody knows it, but he's truly one of a kind, and we're really lucky that he comes back and does what he does.
The neat part, I just like to make sense for and how important it is. All the Iowa State basketball players will be at the Niang event, so that's the biggest part here. Is those guys see people like George and Tyrese and now Kurt as like, I can do it too. Like that's a huge win to keep those people around the program.
It is. Even like, I was thinking about this. I was listening to you guys talk about Kurt. Thanks for filling in for me, by the way, Jake. And like the fact that they're just nonchalantly cranking these guys out. Like Kurt Jones was not supposed to be an NBA player, right? Like when they signed him, it was kind of like, who was the guy who went to Texas Tech who they wanted?
Yeah, Darian Williams.
Yeah. There you go. And Kurt was like, I remember they had like 3 guys. And it was like a debate, which one do we take? And it was Curtis Jones wanted to go to Iowa State. Like he had watched him on TV, he liked the way that they played, and he was like, that was a guy who was like, you're kind of like, oh, we hope he's like Naz.
Yeah,
We hope that he can develop into
that was
being
the
like
high ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
We
be
hope
Naz.
that like they didn't think he would be that good. I'm saying like developmentally,
Mm-hmm.
Naz was brought in to be like a 7th guy for his whole career. Just great teammate, gets good grades, good in the clubhouse, and like now like that Kurt Jones, like we all knew he was pretty good, like right when he graduates, and that he's just and it's not that big of a deal. Like it is to us, but it's not. I mean, I can't imagine there's like, if you turn on Iowa media right now, there's like a ton of play on Kurt Jones getting a 2-way, right? Like it's just, Iowa State pushed out another guy to the NBA.
Ho,
It was
ho.
awesome.
Yeah. Have fun. I can't wait to listen to that. Say hi to Kurt for me.
It's best of both. He's just a fan favorite,
Yeah.
of course, and now he's a Nugget. So
How did you've told this story, but for the audience, the Williams and Blum audience, how did you become a Nuggets fan?
So it was actually the last Cyclone to play for Denver. I never really had an NBA team growing up. I took all my dad's teams, and he stopped paying attention once Jordan retired. So he didn't have a team, and I was a free agent my whole life.
Yeah.
And I just had a couple buddies who have family in Colorado and grew up there. And they were Nuggets fans and always tried to convince me, like, hey, this fat Serbian slob he's a pretty good player. And this is like a rookie Jokic. So I watched a lot of him. I'm like, you know what? That's not a terrible like bandwagon to hop on. They haven't made the playoffs, and then Monte gets drafted there, and the rest is history.
And it's like a direct flight from Des Moines.
Yeah.
So you can go to their games.
Yeah, I went to the Western Conference Finals in 23.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
To me, that's the key in these. Like, if you have to be able to like experience it in the wild. Like, I'm more of a Braves fan now since I went to a game there. Like, I always watched them, but like when you go, that's why it's difficult to be like, oh, I'm a Seahawks fan. I mean, that's like a lot of time zones, and got to go west, and like that. You can just go make a spur of the moment on a Friday night in the summer that you're going to go watch a Nuggets playoff game if you want.
Hopefully next year. Next year, Kurt's coming off the bench.
There you go.
Bloom, what does the roster look like for him though? I know you actually follow
we
this
talked
stuff.
about. I mean, Jake and I talked about it Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, there's he's got a chance. Now, chance is very loose. Like him making it for the Cyclone fans, it's the last guy on the roster playing maybe a couple minutes a game at best.
Correct.
He's still going to have a substantial amount of time in the G League, but he can play up to 50 games with the Nuggets essentially. But again, the roster, there is room at that backup point guard spot as Jake and I talked about, but it's going to be hard for him still.
But
I don't want it.
The biggest thing is he gets reps though, and you get time.
Absolutely,
and then you can earn your way, even if it's not with the Nuggets. Like we see these guys catch on with another team all the time.
Totally.
Yeah, and he will get to hang out and be in an NBA locker room with a bunch of champions.
Yep.
And be with the best player in the world. And maybe if there's an injury or two, actually hop in the rotation for a week or so. But on the other end, when he's not doing that, he might just catch a random flight to Grand Rapids and go get to play 40 minutes a game and score 25 for the G League. So it is kind of a good way to develop all sorts of skills.
Great point by Jake, and I think one of the things that's going to be interesting going forward as it relates to college athletics. I'm going to be honest, Kurt is taking this is like the Matt Campbell quote. Kurt would be taking a pay cut this year by playing in the NBA compared to in college. He would be making his salary with the Nuggets / two-way thing will be probably around $600,000, $700,000. This is the crazy thing, but it's 100% true. He would be $1.5 to $2 million or more in college right now. Now, so that tells me a few things. These guys won't go out early anymore that are like Kurt.
Yes.
Because they'd be on the fringe. Same with even like a Rocco next year as it relates to being, are you going to be a 5th round pick? Probably going to stay. Am I a 2nd round pick? I'm going to go. It's no longer, you're got a chance to be a 2nd rounder, you go. But the reason I say that, the other valuable part of being in the NBA is you don't have to worry about anything else. Like the best way to develop as an NBA player is to be in the NBA. It's that simple. You're training all the time. You have the best resources possible. You have trainers, you have nutrition, you have all those things that are high end. So just the fact that Kurt can be around that every day is huge for your growth rather than have to do it on your own.
Kurt Jones, baby.
Kurt Jones.
Today on
Summer
the Cyclone
Series.
Fanatic feed.
Yeah.
Nope. That's coming up later today. All right. We are presented, as always, by our friends at Mechdyne. We are in the Northwest Bank Studios. I wanted to just touch on this because I think it's really interesting, the Athletic. I'm not going to get into everything as to how this was done, but they've essentially put together valuations of college football programs.
This is just college football, by the way.
Correct. This does not include basketball or athletic departments, just college football. Yep. And these are like projections if these teams were to come up for sale, like happens in professional sports.
Yep.
The reason they did this, I think it's really, really well done by them, is because we're constantly hearing about private equity entering college athletics. We've heard a lot with Florida State. They've messed around with this.
Yep.
The Athletic in this article says Boise State has been doing the same. I hadn't heard as much about that, but I'm sure it's true. And
the Big 12 had a flirtation with private equity there for a while.
Yeah, the Big 12 has messed around with this, and I would be surprised at some point if they don't do that. Okay, so I'll just give you where Iowa State. It goes into tiers. Iowa State actually, I don't know if I was surprised by this or not. They're in the 2nd tier. I was surprised that they are 6th of 16 Big 12 teams. Like, to me, Brent, that was fairly encouraging to me that Iowa State is in the upper half of the league in terms of its valuation.
It's simply based on football revenue, and this is the hard part.
Because there's more to it than that.
The way these schools do their books all differs. So your football revenue, okay, is that just from football ticket sales and just football payouts? Okay, But what about donor stuff? What bucket is that in? Is it in football? Is it in basketball? Like, there are different ways to do this. The point is, just like, if you compare college football to the NBA and MLB, I looked it up this morning. The average MLB evaluation, this just goes to show how, in my mind, college football in general is undervalued, and they've screwed up the media rights because they don't aggregate. Okay,
Yes.
Follow me here.
Absolutely.
The average MLB valuation seat up of all the 30 teams is $3 billion. And the average NBA valuation is $4 billion because they aggregated their media rights, and they're not all segmented like college football. These prices should be double, all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who's going to wake up to see this, but I was surprised it'd actually be this low. And I know Iowa State was projected at $331 million in valuation, and it's basically
It would go for more than that on an open market.
Yeah, I mean, it's
if you
just
could
basically
buy-
a multiplier of how much you're bringing in per year.
Correct.
But I think that if these schools would actually get on the same page and put all their TV inventory together, I think these prices should be higher. But but also shows this is big business now.
I'm
you're
looking
talking
at
about billions here.
Yeah. Well, so okay, you explain this to me, and the audience like we're dumb. When I said I was happy Iowa State's in the first half of the Big 12.
Yeah.
The reason is because it was for the longest time when we started in this business where Iowa State was just at the bottom.
Always. Yep.
And you're always scraping and clawing. Explain to me, though, so if you go down to the bottom of the Power 5, okay, you've got the worst two in terms of valuation are Cincinnati and Houston in all of P5. Now, granted, there's a lot more. It's pretty much all ACC and Big 12 when you get down there. There's a Mississippi State and a Vanderbilt, but whatever. But let's say, because Houston is all the way down at $91 million is what their valuation would be, which is laughably low compared to even the second lowest, which is Cincinnati at $106.
Yeah.
I guess what my point is, though, like Baylor is at $276 because their revenue is at $46. However, if you talk to anyone in the Big 12, Kansas would be in the same boat at $197 million, which is substantially below Iowa State. When it comes to funding, they're not bottom of the barrel. Like this isn't an exact
It's not perfect.
Yeah.
No, this is not the gospel at all. In fact,
because Kansas has more NIL firepower than Iowa State even, right?
no doubt.
Okay, that's what I
doubt.
thought.
I mean, they got one guy who's single-handedly, made their basketball team what it is.
BYU is a great example.
Yeah, so-
BYU at $306 million that would go for $1 billion probably.
Yeah. I mean, so here's what they did, and this is why this isn't perfect. They did average football revenue, I think, over the last 5 years, and then multiplied it. Well, those schools were not in the Big 12, and so they're factoring in their American dollars, which doesn't make sense anymore. So, again, nice to see in a chart, but it's very flawed data, and it just goes to show how important, and this parlays in the Memphis conversation, being in a Power 4 conference is for those smaller schools. And poor Memphis is just trying like heck to get into it, and they can't. The musical chairs have stopped, and they don't have a seat at the table, and it's kind of sad. They're trying to literally give up 5 years worth of TV rights and throw in $200 million to get into the Big 12, and the Big 12's like, no, we don't want you. And I agree with that because you can't saturate the pot even more. Like, that is the worst thing to do, and that's why I'm not bullish at all on realignment and adding schools. There's just not enough to go around anymore. The musical chairs, I think, have slowed down, or if not stopped altogether.
Yeah, the Memphis thing, and that sucks for them because they're investing, right? They have all this FedEx money.
Yep.
They're just about 10 years too late when it comes to it. But if you look at their profile, metropolitan area, really good football, really good basketball, like they fit the profile. Like, because again, we're not talking academics anymore. That doesn't matter in any of this. You know what my theme of doing these media days events though, the last couple of weeks, gentlemen, and you're going to hear me harp on it more and more. But there's so much, and I'm hanging out with these old school handicappers and stuff on Monday night. There's still so much of, this school brings back X amount of starters and they develop we just have to rewire our brains on how we think of all of this.
So what's the reputation of Iowa State now nationally? Have you noticed a difference in the 15 years you've been
Yes,
going
but
to these?
it is Iowa State is thought of like Iowa used to be.
Explain
Not
that.
from like a boring. I think everybody just expects them to be 7, 8, 9 wins, but they don't. There's not a belief that Iowa State can win
Break
it
through.
big.
Yeah.
That is the God's on. Like, yes, that's what they think.
Yeah.
They think that, even on a bad year, Campbell will get them to 7 and 5, but they're not gonna go and win the Big 12. That's the vibe out there.
I wanted to add something on Memphis. Could you imagine 5 years ago when all hell broke loose and Texas and OU leave the Big 12 and Bob Bowlesby's just scrounging to get Cincinnati, UCF, BYU, Houston? If Memphis and FedEx came in at that point offering $200 million, like they were just behind the curve. If they did this even 4 years ago, they'd have a seat at the table.
Yeah, I wonder, like, if the Big 12 could do it, $200 million would help a lot for everybody right now.
I don't know if you heard me on my show this week, Brent. I would say, okay, get us to $400 million, and we're just gonna feed it to NIL projects across the Big 12.
But
Honestly, tell me
you're
that
just gonna-
wouldn't be impactful.
it would, but you're just going to water down for the next
It's already
50 years.
everything's watered down anyways.
Okay, but you can't just add. The problem with Memphis here is you can't just add Memphis. You need another team then.
I'll
Do you
find
really wanna-
Boise. All right,
Doesn't-
Boise.
So
You
you're
got
going
your
to
private
18?
equity.
18?
Doesn't the ACC have an odd number of teams?
The Big Ten has
they?
18.
Okay. No, but you can't have. Can you have an odd number of teams? Can you have 17 teams?
Why the hell not? I mean, I know it sounds weird, but why couldn't you? Like, none of this stuff makes any sense anyways. It's all so stupid what we've done to this entire industry. Like, why can't you have 17?
What I bet if you took a poll of Iowa State fans, it'd be 90-10, 90-10, no Memphis.
Well, fine. Like, but they also, here, this is the problem. Because if okay, let's say that we get them. All right, FedEx, double it to $400 million, and we'll let you in. $400 million divided by 16.
Okay.
Jake, can you do the math for me real quick, young man?
My calculator can.
I mean,
You got
As I'm
16,
25?
stalling, 25
400.
mil.
25.
What is it?
25 mil.
All right. You get 25 extra million for your football program to spend in NIL over the next however many years.
5
now,
years.
in theory, your parking and the water at the stadium should be cheaper, and all, but that's not how college athletics works. We know that. But I guess what I'm saying, I am not even making the case to add them. I'm saying that there is some validity to what they're doing. It's the same reason SMU is in the ACC.
No doubt. They're trying to do the SMU move.
Yes.
They're just, I think, like Jake said, they're 4 years too late on this. Like, the Big 12's like, we can't add any more.
I've got a question.
I would
for
have
you
Boise
guys.
and Memphis right now, but they
So-
have to they have to pay their way in. It's like a NASCAR team.
So Yormark obviously denied him at 200 million, but everybody has a line. What would be the line where
Fairly
like
400.
they make the Godfather offer
Double it.
that we can't refuse?
I think if it's 400 million and you're getting $5 million a year extra per school, you got to do the math here, because again, if you add them and but if they give up their media rights, so they don't get that either.
That's the key. You're
you
making
gotta
more
look
on
at
them.
it. You got to look at it. I understand. Because we're in a cash squeeze for everybody right now. So turning down $5 million.
Can we just kick like UCF out? Or somebody?
That'd be a fun segment if you had to kick
who gets-
one school out.
God.
Now there's how
Baylor.
you get media ratings.
I mean, since he's been
The Big 12 should just do their own relegation system and just have like Memphis, Boise, and Washington State.
Well,
like, in
didn't the
second division.
Pac-12 kick that around?
Yeah,
like
they
the
did.
new Pac-12 or
They
whatever.
did. It's just you can't. These schools can't have that uncertainty.
could make the ACC the relegation league.
Yeah. You have to go play Boston College and
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're having these are real conversations too. It's not even us jacking around. Like this, all this stuff could actually happen, which is what's awesome.
And I'm saying, like, you get some of these schools' football programs valued in the billions, and I think it's low. I think they're actually more than that. But again, college sports can't get on the same page, and we're in the hamster wheel.
Okay, real quick, just to wrap this conversation up, the number one team in the country was Texas in terms of valuation at $2.38 billion. I was actually surprised the difference between 1 and 2 and 3 because I just assumed Ohio State or Notre Dame would be number 2. It's actually Georgia, not by much, $1.92 billion. Ohio State at 1.9, Notre Dame was at 1.85. But just again, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But Texas is substantially higher than everybody else, and it's really not that close. Almost by $500,000 or $500 million.
That's still the amazing thing when you look back. Well, Iowa State beat them 3 years in a row. Was it 3 years in a row?
Yeah.
I mean,
that was why Paul Rhodes was so emotional when he beat Texas that last time.
you are literally 10% of what they have. And Iowa State was the better program and had been for a while. Now, credit to Sarkisian. I think he's done a really nice job there. I think he has, and they're going to be a factor. They'll be obviously ranked in the top 5 to start this year. They'll be a contender. But yeah, I mean that's why it was amazing. Iowa State has had the success it has had against Texas for this exact reason.
We are presented today by our friends at Central States Roofing. Go to csrroofing.com and remember, because we keep getting rain. Oh my God, that rain that
Florida.
it feels like a rainforest out there. I hope your basements are okay. Hopefully Colin Newell's not getting too many calls.
So how's you're in your basement now? Sump up okay?
I'm
almost went
all
over there and
good.
checked. Okay.
As long as Aiden Wyatt's not living here, we're fine. No, for real though, csrroofing.com. They are there for your repairs. They do commercial in all of Central Iowa. Locally owned company, awesome Cyclones. Really appreciate all their coverage or helping us cover the Cyclones the way that we do. And you're going to see it with Jake. If you guys haven't been watching and listen, I've gotten so many compliments on Jake's 5 to 10 minute daily shows. We need to bring this up while we have you here because we want a name for this. I like the Daily Clone or the DC.
That was the initial.
The DC for short.
Daily Clone. Okay.
Because we want to.
Van Winkle likes the spin or the daily spin.
With incorporating like a tornado into it.
I think I like that better than the Daily Clone, but I don't.
God, but you like the fancy schmancy. I like
I'm an
the
elitist.
Down to the. Yeah, we should let the audience help.
Yeah.
It's a good
Send us
idea.
your recommendations. They're doing great though, Jake. You're doing really good work.
Yeah. Awesome
Thank you.
stuff. Great interview with Walters. I enjoyed the heck out of that. That was fantastic.
I haven't heard it yet, but it's on the queue.
The
Walters
Godfather's great.
A
He's
very
the
nice,
best.
very nice email Monday. Was it work related? But then he's like, "And awesome job with Jake." He's like, "But you guys mispronounced like 3 different names again." I was like, "John, we can't get it right."
That was like the first thing we talked about.
I saw it was.
I didn't even plan on talking about that. And I just asked if all he does in the summertime is
critique
Yeah.
local media.
Well, and
Apparently
it's on us. We got to be better.
it's Dominicus. It's not Dominicus.
Dominicus?
Plita.
Plita.
The way I'm remembering it, it's like the islands. Dominicus.
There was a name.
Oh, I like that.
I thought Eric Huff was going to murder me. It was when me and him were at the Bahamas. There was this guy who played for Seton Hall. Mm-hmm. I could not say.
Skeetishvili. Was it
Yes.
Skeetishvili? Yeah.
It did not matter how many times I practiced. I could not say his name.
I hope that Nico, whatever his name is, does not have a breakout season at UCLA. I covered him in a bowl game in the Citrus Bowl.
Oh, I am a lava.
Oh, it's just Nico.
I can't say his last name. I nailed it the day of the bowl game because I said it 100 times, and then I forgot it ever since, and I stopped trying. Ime Leava or something like that.
Speaking of pronunciations that apparently we don't have to worry about anymore, Marcus Zeeley no longer committed to Iowa State on the basketball front. Can you give a little insight there, C-Dub? Because I think the media, or the internet went a little nuts. Like, oh no, what happened? I got a bunch of texts like, is it NIL? I'm like, no, it's not NIL.
No, I just think that, again, like, this is just a different world. And it feels to me like that. I don't have all the insight, but it feels to me like that whole thing was very rushed on both sides. Where I think that kid got an offer and committed.
Like day
Less than 48 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also think Iowa State, it feels like they thought there was more interest from other teams than there was, and that they were trying to get ahead of it. And he didn't have like a great AAU cycle. So it's like, I don't know. But to me, this feels like a truly like mutually beneficial thing for that kid, because if you're not good enough, or if you're not going to be at you want a team to be honest with you. And if you're Iowa State, like, you look at the point guard thing, like, you don't want to miss on this one. Whoever.
Yeah, there you have a couple guards there too. So I was essentially, this was nobody's fault. It was just like they ended up calling off the engagement, is what I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. And who knows, too? This is college athletics. That kid could end up coming to Iowa State still. Like, I don't think fans truly care that much. I
got a bunch of texts. Like, what's going on? Did he cash
it was a
somewhere else?
weird situation because it just happened.
It just happened, yeah.
That's why it was so odd. And I truly, a kid had a nice classy tweet. I don't know. Again, I don't have the insight on this, but this feels very 2025 recruiting to me.
Well, and so he's a Texas kid. His only other Power 5 offer is Arizona State. I believe Iowa State and ASU offered the exact same day. Other than that, his only offers are Drake and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Would it be shocking if North Texas swooped in with an offer? Daniel Robinson, former TJ guy.
No. And I think that was the consensus. Like, okay, Iowa State was basically like, let's evaluate a little bit longer here. Like, we don't need to rush into this. So I think
who knows? He could have a great system here and have 10 Power 5 offers and be in a way better spot. I think it's just better for everybody. But again, it's just funny. Like, 5 years ago, this would have been the biggest story.
It would have been a huge deal, and it just doesn't move the needle as much. Yeah.
No. Most people aren't even going to remember that he was. Although that'll be a great Williams and Blum trivia question.
Like, who's the Baylor dude? Nunn?
Yeah.
Remember Nunn was
Jaden Nunn.
Jaden Nunn.
And then my personal favorite was, who's the guy Prom took over, the kid that went to Colorado who wanted to go to Iowa State?
Oh, McKinley Wright.
McKinley Wright, yeah.
McKinley
that
Wright,
was a great one.
Yeah,
that's a good Cyclone trivia question for down the road.
I was getting into the weeds with Nick Noskiak. Noskoviak.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I was sitting at state basketball this winter. I'm just like, what the hell happened to that guy? And I read a bunch of articles, and it wasn't great.
It wasn't great.
He had some like legal things.
Yeah.
I want to say, yeah.
Don't want to show my youth, but that was like the first Cyclone recruiting cycle, I guess, other than Rashad Vaughn, that I remember like reading every single day. I think I cried when Rashad Vaughn committed to UNLV.
I did too, and I'm older than you. Okay.
I was like 12.
But that was one of those deals, though. If you had it was very much an inside recruiting thing. We all knew that there was a very slim chance Rashad Vaughn was coming to Iowa State, and it was the same as that Check Diallo.
Check Diallo. No, but Matt,
because he was promised to an Adidas school. Like, he had to go to an Adidas school.
And we didn't even know at the time, but Abdul Massey was convinced both those guys are going to be at Iowa State.
Yeah.
100% convinced.
The Rashad Vaughn thing was the most drawn out. I think there was a better chance he would end up there than
Diallo.
Diallo's never. Because Rashad would be like, oh, I'm limiting my list to 8 tonight. And he would make a big production out of it. And then, God, that was annoying.
And I was so naive that I thought, if Vaughn goes to Ames, it's a national championship loading, no matter what.
And I believe the funny part here is, because I wrote about it once, the Johnny Orr, Fred Hoiberg, Michigan game. Do you know who's on his official visit that day? Rashad Vaughn.
Wow.
So that.
Wow. Did you? Speaking of that, we haven't even gotten to talk, Bloom. I lived your dream the other night, hanging out with Paul Shirley and Hurl Beecham all night.
Beecham was there.
Yeah. You didn't see that picture of me and Hurl and Paul? I sent it to you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Now I do. Yeah.
I looked like I was 4 feet tall.
Well,
in between those two guys.
I mean, Paul is an interesting character, isn't he? What a guy. I heard rave reviews on those.
This Hurl beach him.
Yeah, Hurl could shoot it now.
I got Hurl talking to him about a little Cyclone Fanatic analysis potentially down the road.
Hurl, probably the best ever player from Des Moines North. He and Fred had some battles back in the day in state tournament. North versus
That's what Keith Murphy was telling me. He was telling me about these iconic high school games.
Oh my God, Hurl was a player. Like that guy could shoot it. He was a stretch 3-4 before there were such a thing.
It was a neat event. We did our subscribers event, which Jake was a part of, and then he went up with you guys and helped with the Okoboji outing, which looked lovely.
It was.
The Iowa State community coming out to support Paul at Sweet Caroline's last Thursday was really touching. Like, he was choked up.
Awesome.
All of his old trainers. Julie was there. Beaner was there. Hurl came up. I guess Hurl lives in West Des Moines now. He's back in the area.
Yep.
It was really cool. Talk about when Paul and I connected on this, it was like something I'm very interested in, and it wasn't like, oh, the former. No, like I'm really into like his message, and so it helped me, and I was excited about that. But it turned into this like truly surprising, awesome relationship. And I think me and him will be pretty good friends for a while. Like, I really, really think he's a bright guy.
No shot we'll get him on here to host a basketball analysis podcast.
He doesn't care.
Doesn't care about basketball. That's the funny part. Is like, oh, don't care.
But he does, just so you know, Bloom, you make your connections because Paul and I want to go and do one of those events up at Okoboji during the season. So I figure our friends at Westo or somebody.
We're in.
Yeah. I got to move up to Okoboji. I got to get a second.
Jake's an honorary member.
I can barely afford one place at this age, but if I could have a second place, Okoboji is incredible.
Hey, how about a CF North office?
Give us a few more years.
Let's talk to the ownership group.
Give us a few more years. On that note, we'll thank one more sponsor before we move on, and it's our friends at the Iowa State University Foundation, MoveWhatMatters.com. MoveWhatMatters.com, where we've got new Cyclones coming onto campus here in just a few weeks, a whole new crop of them. And you can be a well-rounded Cyclone and give to all different areas of the entire institution. I think I gave to like 10 different places last year through the foundation, which is awesome. I really, really enjoy it. And they would like us, Brent, they want us to do a show on campus at some point.
I'm in now.
Through the foundation.
Where would be the appropriate place for us?
Hamilton Hall.
Yeah, probably Hamilton. Man, somebody posted a video on Instagram yesterday about the Carver Hall staircase.
Oh God!
And it was like it brought back terrifying memories. It was just like you're in the bunker going down those stairs, and oh man, so many math classes
arena
there. No,
it's a
Carver.
Clearly, Jake didn't go to Iowa State.
You just said depressing in a hole. We've actually got a Carver at Simpson College as well.
Yeah, the Carver's very philanthropic people. The Carver Trust is where that comes from. However, building on campus, everyone's been in, a lot of math classes there. Terrifying place.
All right, Jake has Jake's got some football topics he wants us to hit on. What do you got? Let's go. Let's fire away.
So,
fall camp has started.
Texas Tech is just, I think they're going to be talked about every single week in the Whiffles Hybrid Big 12 segment.
They're the most interesting team in the league.
I'm just so fascinated by the culture part of it because they've got a lot coming back, but they're also completely relying on transfers in the trenches and expensive transfers, NFL type prospects. But how are we sure that if they drop a game in September that it won't spiral? Like that's what that's where I'm not buying the Texas Tech hype. Like they go to Utah on September 20th.
It's funny you say that.
Will they be favored in that?
I was just thinking the same thing. I think that's a pick 'em right now. Probably.
Well, okay, so we started doing this, Brent, and we said we're not looking at schedules, right?
Yeah.
We're just looking at teams.
Yep.
We got to look at schedules.
Now we're looking at schedules.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Texas Tech. Now, I'll put the caveat where, because I'm an evolve or die type, like, they have the best roster, we believe. And if it's as good as their money spent, none of this should matter.
I would say most NFL talent.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I mean. The talented roster. Best rosters, relative. This is their road games, okay?
It's crazy.
At Utah.
Oof.
At Arizona State.
Oof.
And they also had to go to Houston.
They're underdogs in that game right now.
This is their Big 12 schedule. I'm just going to read it for you, okay?
Right.
Starting September 20th. At Utah, at Houston. So the first 2 games are on the road. Kansas at home. Kansas might be my sleeper.
They are mine.
Okay. At Arizona State. Oklahoma State at home. At Kansas State.
Oh, man.
So let's look at that.
When is
they
that
go
game?
2 Arizona State, 2 Kansas State, 2 Utah, all before November 1st. And then BYU, UCF at West Virginia to round out the season.
So we'll know where they are November 1 for sure.
Right? I mean, and I just, they know.
I don't trust them.
They know, too. I'm telling you, talk to enough people in and around Lubbock. They know the pressure. This isn't some thing that's sneaking up on them. They know that if they don't win the Big 12, then it's a colossal failure.
So I don't know if this is good insight or if this is taking a class from the Bill Simmons School of Body Language Doctor. But when we were in Dallas, I was in the elevator with like 4 tech video
This is good insight right here, Jake. Tell this story.
Let's go.
This is good.
I was in the elevator with 4 tech staffers, and I'm like, dang, you guys got a good team this year. And you'd think you spend $50 million in the portal. You should be the favorite to win the conference. You'd think that these guys would be like, yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. We can't wait. They're all kind of like, yeah, it should be a good season. That's not the type of thing that you say.
Was it the West Texas?
That's like they were talking about Texas Tech like I'm talking about the Cowboys this year. It's like, oh, you got George Pickens. You pumped? Not really.
The crazy thing about Tech, as much money as they've spent here recently, they really haven't won anything ever.
They haven't finished a season ranked since Mike Leach was there. 2008.
So I think that's where some of it's coming from too. Is like, yeah, but we haven't ever done they haven't played in a Big 12 championship, right?
Really
They
though,
never
and
have.
you guys know I'm a Leach disciple, but he only won big 1 year there. They were always. You got to realize what he did there was they were at a point where it was West Texas tumbleweed, right? Like he did that. The air raid thing is an equalizer. It wasn't like Bama and Saban hiring Sarkisian and saying we're going to throw it around to score. Like it was an equalizer. So he took Tech from this like Bam Morris era where you're winning 5 games, right? And it was the Crabtree year. Everybody remembers that game. It was him and Gundy. One of the great Big 12 games in history, in my opinion. But other than that, you're right, Jake. They were just good. They weren't.
Yeah, and I don't share that insight as, oh my gosh, the fan base isn't confident.
No.
But I think I can sense that there is a fear within the fan base that it's not going to go as well as everybody thinks.
We were like that in 21.
It is exactly like that, where you on paper you have to win the Big 12. There's no way around it. And when you lose at West Virginia like Iowa State did, pretty much every single loss is just another body shot, and you just felt like you were going to collapse. And I feel that in Lubbock.
Yeah, I think the comps. I like that comp of Iowa State 21 to Tech because, man, when Iowa State lost to Iowa that year, you almost felt like, season's over. Oh, and again, love Brock Purdy, but he played that way. He played like he had the weight of the world on him that day, and it showed. And I think that's a real fear if I'm a Tech fan with their quarterback. I think Morton's a nice player, but when you got the world on your shoulders, that is immense pressure. And he hasn't done it. So they will be the fascinating story. I'm excited to follow Tech. I had no idea that schedule's that hard. I'd be cautious, and that is why their odds are not. They're not the favorite to win the league. Then, right? Odds wise, isn't it K-State?
Yep,
Kansas
K-State, and then Utah, Tech, and Arizona State are all kind of.
All right, so that's the Whiffles Hybrids Big 12 segment here. The takeaway I have from a trip to Las Vegas is Utah's the buzz team.
They are. They're coming strong here in July.
And it wasn't even just my handicap buddies. Like not handicapped buddies. That's not what I mean.
Yeah,
handicapper.
Handicapper.
Like I had a few beers with Scott Docterman, who he's a national writer now. Like that, he's on Utah. Like they really like the quarterback, the New Mexico kid. Tim Murray, my buddy at VEASAN, put a Heisman ticket on him.
He's going to run it a lot. I don't think much
Utah had two things going against it last year, though. It's like that quarterback situation was a disaster, right?
Really
like,
bad.
Which I think really wore on that locker room.
No doubt.
It feels like you could tell it did with Whittingham, because I really like him. He's kind of a nice character, classy guy, and he was pissed by the end of the year. Like, he just hated life. And then you also had in the Big 12 for the first time, and you're traveling. Like, that's real. Like, that is a real thing. If you talk to these athletic departments on the travel and how, even if you've never done it before like they had.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a bounce back from them. Do I think they should be like this odds-on favorite to win the league? No. But I do think they'll be considerably better.
They are getting the benefit of history here. And again, when we look at college football, at the end of the day, if you're a brand, and Utah is still a pretty big brand based on what it did in the Pac-12, they're going to get the one-off mistake season, and that was last year. I think this is more reputation-based than their personnel, honestly.
Really? Okay.
I mean, personnel is good, don't get me wrong, and they bring them back a lot on the offensive line, but they struggled offensively, and I just don't know if Dampier has enough upside, because he's not really a thrower. I wasn't blown away with their weapons on the outside either last year. Again, they probably added some guys there. They're going to win rugged. They're going to be a lot like Iowa State, in my opinion, where they're going to win, a lot of one-possession games. Real quick topic. I'm going to throw a curveball at you, because I brought it up Sunday, and I looked it up myself. Did you know, in fact, I think this would be worth a deeper dive here for somebody in the Cyclone Fanatic team. Iowa State last year averaged 72 plays per game, which was 15th most in college football.
Wow.
The year before, Iowa State averaged 59.8 plays per game, which was 4th lowest in college football. Iowa State very much ramped up the offense last year, and we didn't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we always talked about Iowa State's going to play this slow down tempo. Last year, no, they were top 15 in the country in plays per game. How about that?
They'll slow down this year, right?
Will they? Because somebody's like, because I hinted at that on Twitter, and somebody's like, well, Iowa State won 11 games. Why would they change what they did?
Valid point. And you bring this up week to week all the time. Because I'm wanting more and more and more offense. Just hit the gas, and you're like, but then you have to put the defense out there.
And that's why I said the defense suffered, because Iowa State ran a lot of plays last year.
Yeah,
I think it'll be somewhere in the middle. I don't think you want to go back to 4th, especially when you look at 2 of your first 3 games of the year.
Yeah,
K-State's weakness is in the secondary. I don't think it should be.
Yeah,
they maybe have the best defensive line in the Big 12. If not one of the best in the country. So I don't think week 1 you want to go out there and maybe ugly the game up. I know Rocco will still be adjusting to some new weapons, but I don't think you want to go from 15th fastest to 4th slowest. Maybe it's a 50th fastest or 100th, somewhere in that range.
But when you're talking to Mauser this week, I think that's a fast, like that had to be a plan. And I know it's because you had Higgins and Knoll was a huge part of it. But to go from 4th lowest to top 15 in the country is a crazy jump. That's like going from, McDermott to Hoiberg overnight.
I'd be interested to see those numbers if you take out the first 3 games of 23 when you've got the
Another good-
Ohio game. I'd guess it's still going to be low, but probably not as low.
Really, really good point.
What was the Hunter Deckers year?
I gotta look it up.
I feel like that had to be a Turtles pace.
Yeah, but
Well,
they
they-
had to throw it a lot because they were behind. I don't
That's true. Yeah.
look it up.
Couldn't run the ball.
It's just I would love to do a deep dive on what philosophically Iowa State changed, or was it just a matter of circumstance where you're in these high scoring games where you need to go?
Real quick on Kansas State, because I know we were going to hit on
Yeah.
that. We do have a number for that game. It was 3.5, 3.
K-State's favored.
K-State's a small favorite
Okay.
in that game. I had an epiphany, and this might be dumb, and many people in our audience maybe have already had this epiphany. But so the number one talker, and rightfully so, will be Iowa State's receivers, right? And they'll go, well, you lost these 2 guys to the NFL. You don't just replace that. And we have, I think, done a pretty good job of documenting. You don't replace it. You figure out different ways.
Piece it together.
We need to just quit talking about Ben Bramer like he's a tight end.
I agree.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Because Burkle's going to be that guy.
And then Moore's the other tight end.
Yeah, and they have more. Like, those guys are going to be doing that. So, like, when this is not just, Rocco doesn't have anyone to throw to who he's comfortable on the, like, we just need to talk about Bramer like he's like a third wide receiver.
I'd be interested to talk to Mauser on Friday, and I will ask him this. Because people forget Bramer was healthy the first half of the year. He missed the second half, but his production still wasn't the same.
what
He had
it
a
was.
nice
That's
game
another good
against
point.
Baylor.
Yep.
I'd be interested to see if that was just was he dinged up a little bit at the start of the season? Was that just so much emphasis on Higgins and Knoll
I would love to know that too, Jake. Write that down.
on it? Because he is way closer. If you project, I know there was some NFL talk, and if you project him as an NFL player, he is not a tight end in the NFL.
And I think this is, he's got to get 5+ targets per game. Like,
Couldn't agree more.
You gotta find a way to get that guy to the ball.
Doctorman told me, I asked him this question specifically because Doctorman does a lot of draft stuff. And he said he thinks he's top like 3-4 rounds right now.
Like, I told the story. I was talking to a staff member 2 weeks ago, and they had Ben coming into last year graded above the 2 first-round NFL tight ends, based on their scouting system. So, again, Iowa State's not the NFL, but I mean, I think they have a pretty good read right away with Ben that his upside is immense. And if he puts it together, I put him in. I love cross-sport comparisons here. I think Ben Bramer and Milan Momcilovic are kind of in the same category of.
I like this.
Of really like on the precipice of major breakout, and they're not household names yet nationally, but they could be.
Shout out to basketball for having all these availabilities in the summer
they've been
too.
great.
I know, this is awesome.
Man. This is great.
I'm going to do this interview with Kurt, and then I've got another basketball availability to look forward to.
It's awesome.
awesome.
I'm really happy for Iowa State that they're doing this. This is
That's
great.
four this
I know.
summer.
I don't think I've ever had as many in the summer is what they're doing right now. Do you have anything to do with that, Bloom? Pushing the year-round thing?
It's all me. It was my
Ryan Workman.
Ryan Workman.
SID of the year, baby.
He's great.
Greatest
Working
of all
it.
time.
Workman working it.
All right, Jake, do you have any more football topics before we wrap things up?
No, I think that was about it. I did kind of
Okay.
want to talk a little bit about. I was getting deep into some against the spread numbers for Iowa State, and I
Yes.
thought it was really interesting just how good overall Matt Campbell has been against the spread
Really?
at Iowa State as an underdog.
Really? Okay.
I got to pull this up quick. It
Good
was,
underdog, poor short favorite, I believe, is the.
Because there was that.
Yeah.
There was like a 3-year period where it was Iowa State was a 3-point or less favorite. They went like 0-7 or something.
But,
So
like,
21-15-1 against the spread as an underdog, just 13-24 straight up.
Yeah.
But under Rocco, they are 5-3 straight up as an underdog.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, good pull.
Rock.
Yeah, and again, like, so I always go back to the 4-win season. And if you change like two small, like Hutchinson drops, Like that Texas game is the one that just sticks in my craw.
Missed kick.
Yeah, like they were
Kansas.
so close to being 8-4. And I get the feeling that that was last season and they won the games. The one thing that I am concerned about for this year is that comes back around the other way and you have some bad breaks. But I don't know. Like to me, like that's what we're in for. Buckle up, go to Hopewood, get that life insurance policy. Not life insurance, excuse me. That's through Colin Newell.
You get to get your will done in a
Hope will get you your will done in a day while you're sitting there at Gravitate co-working and you are working on your will. See, how's that? I'm getting all these sponsors in once. That's impressive stuff.
And
you know what I mean, though? Like, that's what's coming, and you best get ready for it and hope that the kicker, hope that special teams are good, all these things. I'd be shocked if Iowa State's not in that situation in November with all these one-score games.
And I think to add to that point, this year there's no game like at Houston. You've pretty much got the game at Jack Trice against Arizona, where no matter how you play, you should win that game. But they played like a C- game at Houston last year and won 20-0.
Yeah.
This year their easiest road game is probably Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's a bit of a sleeper to maybe rise up to 7 or 8 wins this year. So there isn't much margin.
Yep.
Is where I can back C-Dub's point from that.
We did, and I think let's do this on Sunday, C-Dub. We did about this time last year what we thought the projected point spreads would
great
be.
Point. Yeah, let's go.
And I don't want to do it right now.
That's the best content.
We'll do it Sunday. But
this is why I love Jake. He's just disgusting like we are.
We had last year about this time, we thought most of the games, go back and listen, we're going to be touchdown or more spreads. Either...
Yeah,
I think and it ended up that way. Iowa State was a touchdown or more favorite in most of the games last year. It ended up being even like the Tech game they were, even some of the games that they struggled in. UCF they were 13-point favorite I think at it. So that's different this year. I think we're expecting in late July, these games to be a lot more tighter than they were a year ago. Now those games a year ago ended up being tight, but the expectation I think people forget Iowa State was favored in.
All but 2 games.
All but 2 games last year.
Iowa and Miami were the only games
there you go. And so
underdogs.
that's not going to be the case this year. You're already an underdog in week 1. You're going to be an underdog in a couple of those road games for sure. Like I can safely say on July 23rd,
Iowa will be within a field goal.
TCU will probably be an underdog. But the point is, even though Iowa State won 11 games, but if you look back a year ago, we kind of thought that there were some games that would be a lot like what I call like the layup games at Houston, some of those. Now they weren't as layups, but you know what I mean.
West Virginia turned out to be one.
Yep. This year we don't see that here. We don't see like it's on its face. There isn't really a game other than Arizona that you're like, okay, I would say it's safely going to be a 10-point or more favorite in conference.
Well, in between now and then, buddy, I'm going to do a few more of these schedule breakdowns. How about that?
Hey, just FYI,
it's time to peel more layers off now.
30 days to Ireland. We are a month out.
Top of the morning to you. I booked my final 2-day stop in Cork this morning. Carpers and we got a house.
There's a town in Ireland called Cork.
Oh, it's like the best, it's the Sea District down in the southern tip.
Just the tip.
Well, that's the day that we're walking on the seaside cliffs with alpacas.
You're either going to have the time of your life or you're going to want to get back and have a big old double cheeseburger real fast.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler made me want to fly out to Ireland today.
Yes,
well, that area I'm going to, actually. The
Royal
second night. Yeah, we're going to be right up in that area. It'll be really cool. Jake, thanks for helping us out.
Thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
He is Brent Blum. My name is Chris Williams. We are presented, as always, by Mechdyne, signing off in the Northwest Bank Studios. Have a great rest of your work week.